we're set up with a sales room. We have a broodfish polytunnel. I think we'll go through there first. And that's where we have our broodfish. We keep our males and our females separate because we only want them to spawn when we say, and in set combinations as well. And then the second polytunnel along is our growing polytunnel, if you like. That's the engine room really of the farm. Once we've spawned in specific combinations, and that comes down to female and male combinations that we try out from year to year. And when we hit on an optimized pairing, then we stick with that. Then they're grown on separately outside in our natural ponds, and then after about a month they're harvested at about an inch and they come inside and we breed them on in the recirculation system. Because we basically don't breed true, and because we are chasing quality, we breed the varieties true, if you like. We have the same variety on the male and the female side, and as I say, with the optimised pairing, which can sometimes take a few years to put together. But even out of every spawning, it's only such a small proportion that, just to give you a feeling of the ratios, for us, this is on a pairing that actually works commercially for us, a successful pairing. It might be one fish in 1,000 fish that would be worth us growing for a second summer to take to Nisai. And we might sell that from £125 through to a few £100 with a few specials above that. So that's 1 in 1,000. So we have to rear 1,000 fish to get one like that for that kind of sales price. Okay, on a successful spawning. Okay, and for example, the fish that say that we have here in our pick and mix, like in the 3 to 4 inches, okay, they will be coming out of 4th selection. So they are roughly a 1 in 100. So for us to have, and I was almost going to tell you that, because obviously we've got the game today, guess the number of fish in the tank. It is the 3 to, I know the number, I was about to say, for us to have that number of fish, we needed this number of fry. But we have to rear 100 fish to get one that we would then, we're good enough to put into one of our 3 to 4 inch mix selection even. Okay, so these are the sort of quantities we're dealing with. So we need a large volume of fry at about first selection size, which is 2-3 centimetres, around an inch. Our record for getting the fish up to that size is 27 days, but it's usually a week inside, about 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks outside. Okay. Once we harvest, we make our selections, we bring inside to the engine room where we would grow on the fish that we would grow on the first summer. And we then drain the ponds and then do the whole thing again. And if we can get 2 uses out of the ponds in each year, that's great. We only have 6 ponds, we're limited, our site is very limited, unfortunately. We are much smaller than we really need to be. So that's something we're working on at the moment. But, so we might get out of our 6 ponds, we might get like 12 goes. We could produce about 250,000 fry a year in a reasonable year. We'll walk around the ponds, each pond produces maybe 20,000 fish to about an inch in size. Just far away now, it's fine. Okay, so the question is out of from first selection, how many fish make it through? And in a successful spawning, about 5%. Yes. But year to year, what might be in my 5% in 1 year might be within the 95% of another year. Year to year, even with an optimised pairing, it can vary. But I'm happy with 5%. I'm really happy with 6, 7, 8%, and I wouldn't just keep 5% if it wasn't there. So if it's sort of 1 or 2%, I would keep that, but then I wouldn't run that spawning again. Or I'd change them out, we change the bearings, that type of thing. Yeah. So that's the way we use our natural ponds, and that's the reason we try to reuse them. Is because I need as many goes as possible to rear my 20,000 fish, to try and get to that 250,000. And even then, across the year, there'll be maybe 5, 6, 7 fish that stand above the rest, which is such low numbers. And you know, this is one of the big drivers for wanting to expand, because more and more hobbyists are finding us, and they're finding that our fish work really well in their ponds. They may have fish there from imported from Japan, and ours stand up really well. And certainly for hobbyists that like that level, are the sort of level that maybe our top 5, 10. You know, we'd like to have more of those customers, but it's so difficult. For me to double the whole thing, to have this whole facility, to maybe rather than have 5 to 10, have 10 to 20. That's a huge endeavour. But that is actually what drives us. So whilst we work very hard to produce the best fish we can at each of the output points, if you like, the top 5 to 10 in the year, the 3 to 4 inch mix is really important to me, to be able to provide a really good mix across varieties and have nice examples there. All these things are really important to me, but it's all driven by scale, and then obviously being able to get more things right than don't get right. So there's that as well. Okay, that is a brief summary of us. I'll tell you a little bit about me, because there's a lot of first timers here. This is not something that I've done my whole life. I used to effectively be in one of the professions. I used to be in one of the financial professions. Did that for 20 years, and the last 10 years of that, I freelanced, and I've always had hobbies. Koi breeding was a hobby. In fact, I've always bred fish. Even when I was a kid, I used to breed tropical fish. Actually, do you know what? We've got some bristle-nosed plecos in. There's a bit of a project to help keep clean some of our baby fry tanks. We went to Bradley, who was our first employee. He joined us just over a month and a half ago. When he was younger, he used to work at local Maidenhead Aquatic. So we went up there, we picked up these bristle-nosed plecos, which was super cool. And I just love being around fish. There's all the range of tropical fish. And I used to breed a lot of those fish when I was a kid. So now I'm a bit of a bigger kid. This originally was a hobby to breed koi with the objective to win competitive placings at koi shows. Okay, so that was my objective. There are other objectives to produce unique fish, and you have a whole range of objectives, perhaps, if you were to breed. That was one I took on, because that was a way of baselining the output of the fish that I bred against a very good standard. And after a few years, we had lots of success at it, thankfully. And some of our feature, our champion fish are on the poster on the side of the building. And it's not just those 4. There's a whole list of them. They're on the website on the awards section. But we did a decent job. We had continual success year on year. And that, if you like, is what drives us. That's what drives the volume. And if you like, that all happened when I was a hobbyist. Once we won the Baby Champion 2016 All England Koi Show, which is with a kahaku bred here, and we made international press. There was it sort of came up on Google, articles in other languages. People had written about that hobbyist achievement. It was something that we thought to be not possible, and so I've achieved it. And it took a lot of. It took a lot, actually. So I had a pretty full-on day job at the time, and then I had this pretty full-on hobby as well to achieve that. So probably wasn't spending as much time as I should do with the family. but it had taken on so much. The site didn't look anything like you're going to see, you're seeing today. I had a polytunnel, a couple of ponds. There were just swimming pools, and there was no infrastructure per se. But it had taken up a lot of my time and investment at the time. So I really felt a personal pressure that I put on myself to make a success of it. And I guess fortunately we did. But that was the end of the hobby. That was the end of the hobby. Winning that award, we beat something like 80 or 90 other fish. Not only did we were maybe champion at that show, that fish was best in size 2 across all varieties. We had another fish at that same show which was best in size 1 across all varieties as well. So we totally wrapped up in the smaller sizes. It was like a major life achievement. I couldn't continue to put that kind of effort in. So we said, Amanda and I had a discussion about it, and we said, look, more and more people are wanting to buy our fish. We do have something here with that particular breeding line. Also starting to gain knowledge about the males we had and the females we had around Kahaku. We could do something here to create like an escape to the country, do something different in life. Already had a career in the professions. We could do something different and just have a slightly broader range of experiences in our life. So we decided to do that, and we incorporated in 2017. Amanda staffed it up at that point, rather than going back to work. She would have been on a career break, so she would have manned the phones, packed fish, shipped fish, whilst I maintained my day job and then still did this in the evenings. And it has taken all those years really till about 2 years ago to build up the facilities. Because obviously as any of you building up a number of tanks will know, there's a huge infrastructure cost. I sometimes say that when I did koi breeding as a hobby, at that time my sort of hobby budget was what somebody would typically spend on a 4,000 gallon, like a reasonably nicely spec'd 4,000 gallon pot. You imagine whatever that is, that amount. I took that amount and I put a polytunnel up, dug 2 natural ponds, and bought a series of children's swimming pools and homemade filters and all that kind of stuff. That's sort of what I invested, which is quite a significant hobby sum to do my project. But going from that to being able to then stop being in the professional services and earning my living that way, and to earn my living solely through breeding and then selling koi carp, has taken an investment probably 10 times that. So, as well as the business needing to be successful year on year to help with that expansion, I also had to continue the day job to help to fund the expansion. And then COVID came in 2020. I had planned to go full-time then, but now, a few years later, we sort of know how the COVID period had been. But in February 2020, I had a freelance contract ending in March 2020. I was really worried because I have huge financial commitments, and none of us knew what was going to happen. And so I actually took a job at that time, a part-time job at that time. So I rather than going full-time here, I took a part-time job so that I knew that I would be able to cover my basic. I had some basic security, and it was 3 days a week on that, 4 days a week on this, and then which was unsustainable. And then in 2021, we had to just go full-time on this. So it's been 2.5 years full-time, a year prior to that part-time, us earning our living off koi farming. And now we need to expand really significantly again. We're a little bit penned in on our site, and so that's something we're working on. But we've just taken on Bradley Rouvra, who's come in as our assistant manager, and he's already a young guy, but he has quite a few years' experience in the aquatics trade and in with koi, and he's come here to develop his experience in breeding, koi breeding, and he's just brilliant. He's hit the ground running, and he's a great asset. So hopefully in a few years' time we'll have a larger team and even more facilities and so forth. And that's the journey we're on. Okay, any more questions?
So we're at Byer's Koi Farm today. for a trip that Gaz from Gaz's Kite Pond organised, and we're going into the sales room now to give you an idea. Some excellent fish are being produced here. So here we have a mix: Daita Chiba, Shagai, Kujaku, Shiratsuri, Showa, Kahaku. Oh, absolutely everything in here. Some beautiful fish. On to the next vat. These are all individually priced. We have Shiratsuri, Kujaku, Daita Chiba, Showa. Stunning fish. Next one, we have another mix. Again, Kajaku, Showa, Shagai, Magashi Ogon, some Hiyasori, few Daita Chiba again, and Sagi. We have some more, a lot of the Sagi growing on. Yamabuki. I think this is not for sale, it's just a holding tank. Again, a lovely section there, a lovely getting rid of Sagi as well. More Sagi, Showa, Shiratsuri. Again, individually priced. Now we have the mix. 5 for 35, 10 for 55, 25 for 15, and 50 for 200. Yes, we have a mix of everything in there. Nice little growing project for someone. We have some of the value toasite. Again, a nice mix in there. Four to 5 inches. And some more Shagai, all from Oki spawn, and Oki is 1.1 meters long. You don't really see them with the air, with all Shagai. Again, more individually priced fish, some good quality Kindai Showa, Sagi, oh lovely Daita Chiba. I'm really fond of the Daita Chiba here. Was in the other section there, as you've probably seen, and some of the Daita Chiba there are amazing. Yeah, so this is the sales area there, and I'll leave it there. So here is Adam's ponds out the back here. He's 6 of them, so he's just getting them set up for a fry going in. They'll live on live food, and you pull them out about 2 inches long. Now we go look at the brood stock. I'm back home. Yeah, brilliant day at Adam Byer's kite farm. Long day, been up since about 20 past 3 this morning. We're back home now, well worth it. Like to say thanks to Gary Hoyle of GKP for inviting me along. Also Adam Byer for, you know, hosting it and answering any questions you need answered. It was good seeing, putting a lot of faces to people I've watched on YouTube and that, and meeting them and that. Everyone was very welcoming. And to the next one. Yeah, great day. Catch you on the next one.